The vote on Srebrenica Genocide resolution at the United Nations is scheduled to take place at the beginning of May. If adopted, July the 11th would be designated the International Day of Remembrance of the 1995 Srebrenica Genocide. It has been put forward by Germany and Rwanda and backed by the United States, Italy, Turkiye, France, and many other nations. But it has been strongly rejected by Serbia and Bosnian Serbs, whose leader, Milorad Dodik, once again denied the genocide, organized the protest, and vowed that if it passes, the majority Serb entity would split from the rest of the country. Ada Mamunu explains.
UN su napravile grešku 1995. ali ne smiju napraviti novu grešku 2024. godine. Žrtve genocida i njihove porodice zaslužuju makar mali djelić pravde.
This is how Bosnia's leader Denis Bećarović called on the United Nations to adopt a resolution on the Srebrenica genocide. He says what happened in former Yugoslavia and in Rwanda is an embarrassment for the UN because horrible crimes were committed under the watch of its troops, and the world can't allow this to be repeated.
U predloženom tekstu rezolucije o 11. julu kao Međunarodnom danu sjećanja i obilježavanja genocida u Srebrenici počinjenog 1995. poziva se na civilizacijske vrijednosti. Između ostalog, u tekstu rezolucije je naglašeno da se 11. juli proglasi Međunarodnim danom sjećanja i komemoracije na genocid u Srebrenici 1995. koji će se obilježavati svake godine.
The proposed resolution is being spearheaded by Germany and Rwanda. It's been co-sponsored so far by France, Italy, Turkiye, Malaysia, the Netherlands, Finland, the US, and others. But despite it receiving massive international support, it has sparked outrage from Bosnian Serbs and the government of Serbia. Genocide denial is punishable by Bosnia's own laws. However, the Bosnian Serb parliament on the 18th of April approved a report denying the Srebrenica genocide. Thousands of Bosnian Serbs also gathered in Banja Luka to protest against the resolution.
Dakle, operacija Vojske Republike Srpske 1995. godine u julu bila je greška u Srebrenici. Greška koja je počinila i za sebe ostavila ogroman zločin. Ovo je trenutak kada u ime Republike Srpske želim da svim stradalim izrazim poseban pijetet i njihovim porodicama saučešće. To je bio zločin na kraju rata, nakon zamora, mržnje i stradanja, osveta, ali to nije bio genocid.
Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić and his government supported Dodik, pledging to resist global powers opposed to Serbia regarding the Srebrenica genocide resolution. And that's despite Serbia or Republika Srpska not being explicitly mentioned anywhere in the resolution, nor is collective guilt attributed to any of them. The victims and survivors of the massacre welcome the resolution in hopes it will further establish the genocide which took away their loved ones.
U ljude dobre volje, u ljude normalne. Ne treba meni niko biti dobar, neka samo bude istinit. Neka se pridržava onoga što je doneseno sudom, što je dokazano i nek radi tako i bit će u redu. Pa ne mogu da shvatim te negatore i toliko se bore protiv te rezolucije. Svaka laž je kratki nogu. Ne može ona biti vječna.
Ona bi trebala da se jednom da stavi tačka na tu temu. To je tako i to nema drugi. Zločinci. Svako iz svog naroda. Osuđujemo zločin. Idemo dalje. Birat ćemo pravi put. Birat ćemo pravdu. Međutim, šta je to u njima? Da se toliko grčevito bore, da to negiraju, da to nije istina. Činjenice su. Svjetski sud je to osudio.
As the UN prepares to vote on the resolution, the clash between acknowledgement and denial reverberates, exposing the fractures of reconciliation in a region haunted by its past. Adam Amunu, Across the Balkans.
Let's bring in Refik Hodzic now. He's a senior advisor at the European Institute for Peace and a transitional justice expert. Refik is also a former spokesman for the International Criminal Tribunal for Yugoslavia. Refik, great to have you with us on Across the Balkans. What is the main significance of this resolution and why has this been put forward now?
Well, the main significance is that the importance of what happened in Srebrenica, importance of remembrance and acknowledgement of the genocide and its victims is now globally recognized. And this resolution will enshrine the memory of this horrendous crime in the infrastructure of the United Nations and the global consciousness. So I think the timing, I have to say, I don't really give it that much significance. This is something that should have happened a long time ago, but whenever it happens, it's not too late. So I welcome it, the victims and the lessons of Srebrenica Genocide, the lessons documented in various judgments from the highest international courts are relevant not only in Srebrenica, as can we see these days with what is going on in Gaza, for instance. So this international acknowledgement, the global acknowledgement, is something that has been long overdue, but still welcome.
Very strong reaction from Belgrade and from the entity Republika Srpska following the news about the resolution and the following vote. Why is the Serbian president lobbying so strongly against this if it doesn't mention Serbian people in its draft at the moment?
Well, it's very clear why, because Serbian president and the leadership of the party that rules in Republika Srpska at the moment have unfortunately completely rehabilitated the policies and the politics of those who have committed the genocide. Of Slobodan Milošević, Radovan Karadzic. We can see it not only in the rhetoric, we can see it in declared goals. We every day now hear about the creation, intended creation of a unified Serb state that would incorporate territories of Bosnia, Montenegro, Kosovo. These are absolutely carbon copy of the goals that Slobodan Milošević laid out when he harnessed genocide for his political and territorial goals in the 90s. And this resolution, of course, as such, as an international, as I said, acknowledgement of what took place in Bosnia and Herzegovina comes directly counter these policies and these intended goals. So their reaction is to be expected in light of what their politics are.
Right. Would this resolution prevent further denialism or war criminal glorification and protect the survivors? We often cover here on Across the Balkans the rise of war criminal glorification, not just in Bosnia, but across the region. What would it mean in general for the reconciliation process? Or, on the other hand, as we are hearing from Mr. Dodik, that we could expect even more tensions?
Well, the resolution on its own, let's not, think that resolutions are what will somehow overnight change the politics and the policies of people like Milorad Dodik. Resolution is, as I said, a global acknowledgement of the suffering of the victims of genocide, of the circumstances which have led to genocide, of the truth, the facts that have been established. And this is something that will, as I said, now become part of the DNA of the global infrastructure of the United Nations. This date will be just like Rwandan genocide, marked every year. There will be educational content that will permeate the education of young generations. But nobody can hope that an act like this will in itself somehow stop what the clear strategy of rehabilitation of war criminals, rehabilitation of wartime goals. Milorad Dodik and Alexander Vučić have clearly adopted as their policy tools only when they feel that such policies and such politics are doing them more harm than good, will they stop with it? Make no mistake.
Now, Serbia is very isolated at the moment. We are seeing the European Council ready to accept Kosovo as a member soon. Then we have so many countries, strong international support towards Srebrenica Genocide resolution, Germany leading the charge in the United Nations beside Rwanda. What kind of message does the international community want to send to Belgrade, actually?
I'm not really convinced that the international community wants to send any message to Belgrade with this resolution, because if they really did want to send a message to Belgrade, they would not need a resolution of this kind to send it. We can see that at the same time, Vučić is being received at the highest level by, the French president, and there is like a line of European emissaries constantly trying to bring him to senses. And the same with Milorad Dodik. They have still not given up on this approach where they are trying to talk some sense. But I really do not believe that this is giving any results, and that ultimately there will have to be a choice to be made if they continue with what is basically a strategy of destabilizing the Balkans as such, and serving very clearly Russian goals in this effect. European Union and the West will have to take a hard choice of whether they will act on these threats, or will they continue behaving as if they are not happening. You can't have both.
Refik Hodžić, thank you so much for your insight. You can't have both. I'll leave it there, and we'll keep an eye on the situation unfolding, leading to the vote in the United Nations. Thank you so much again.